Ladies and gentlemen, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. On with the show. All right, I think we're ready to start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith, and we're back on all in 1 week. We just tinned the bottom half here, and we're getting ready to tin this. We've squirted some of our flux on here and taken brush, and we've kind of pre-brushing that in, and it kind of helps strip the oxidization off the cast material. And it worked out pretty good. We've got a pretty good tin going on there. Not exactly 100%, but it's about 92%, which is really pretty good. It's better than no tinning at all. Tinning actually helps bond the Babbitt to the shell. These holes in here that you see, those are for retaining the rotation and also holding the bearing in, but it's best to have a bond surface to surface of the bearing actually sticking in there. Alright, I think we're about ready to go. We have a board here, but we're gonna work it along the bottom, and then we'll tilt it up and go that way, tilt it up and go this way here. After that, we tip the thing upside down. We let the excess tin just hit the table. We sweep it over here afterwards, kind of little droplets or whatever, because we just want a real thin layer. That's just so that it'll bond. It's almost like putting glue between the two. All right. The first thing we got is 50/50 solder is what I'm tinning it with. It's in a stick here. I got a little one here. I'm using Stay Clean liquid flux. It's basically made for dirty metals, and it's just about anything that you want to clean up for doing a solder and tinning. This solder 50/50 melts between 183 degrees and 212, but for it to bond into the casting here, I found that it was about 400 degrees on this casting here before you're able to scrub and get it to stick to the surface. So it's just a couple different temperatures there that kind of come to play. Oh, almost forgot. It does help to go ahead and heat wrap. Just put blankets around. All you're doing is you're just trying to keep the heat from escaping. If it doesn't cool down too much at any one time, then you're not working there all day. And also too, once it starts getting warm, then the heat stays kind of there and you can continually work it. Now we only have 2 strips here to work, so we're going to be concentrating on one, then we'll come over and concentrate on the other. We'll roll it. This one here, we had to work that whole surface, but it was still, we worked a section and we worked across, and then we rotate, we work back down. So it'll take a bit for this to get up to temperature. It's going over 250 right now. About 5:15 or so. Okay, little squirt with the flux. Now, I went down to Harbor Freight just a little bit ago, picked up some of these little wire brushes. The plastic handles don't work as shit. They actually start melting out. You do get a little bit of your scrubbing action with them until that plastic melts. It's a combination of the flux and the scrubbing action is what bonds your tin to the surface. And the brush starts giving out. The reason why I went down and got those because I only have a couple of these. And this is nice because these wooden ones are are woven ones right into the back. Now this is old and this is junk, but you watch the difference. So you can put more pressure on it. Because you need to scrub that in. I wasn't going to have enough brush for the whole job. Okay, we're going to lift it up and put a block under it. We're going to work that way. 1 minute. Okay, we had Severance Trucking come in with a big shaft, so we had to stop, throw our blankets over here, but we at least got to that edge on the other side. So now we're coming back here. We dropped down, it's about 375 now, so we got to bring our temperature up a little bit, but some of this solder is just starting to get to solid, so won't take much. some of the noisy part. All right, I think I'm going to be happy with that because I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Okay, throw these mats down on the floor here. Get rid of our excess. Okay, that brush is getting pretty clogged up. Take one of our cheapo depots here. Okay, I like that. All right, we'll put away our, clean up our mess, set this up. We got to put put the level. That's why we got the all threads here. They're not adjusted or anything else right now. We're going to set these up, level these castings right here on the table, and we're going to preheat the castings, and we're going to set up our Babbitt pot by the front door with that everything wide open here. The ventilation's going right through the shop here. We're not going to have any problem, and we're going to pour those each half face up right here on the table, and then we'll put the two pieces, we'll finish the split line, put the two pieces together, and then bore the finished bore in the lathe. Alright, we took our level, we adjusted our feet here until we had a good bubble that way and a really good bubble that way, double checking it on both sides, so we're happy with our level of this. So when we pour it, we know that we're going to pour in on one side here, it's going to be coming up, and when it levels off at the top, it's going to be equal both sides. All right, we need to prep our mandrel and get it in there. We've already taken a light brush, we just kind of went all over it and kind of touched off on our tinning, and we've got some furnace cement we're going to use to seal the little cracks, and we're going to fill the big openings with replacement graphite impregnated fiberglass. This is what you use for around your furnace doors and stuff like that. This is going to do the job. Alright, we got our mandrel here, just a round tube, and we got flange rings here that will slide up. These flange rings fit this radius on each side, top and bottom. So that's what's going to be holding our mandrel. Our mandrel is undersized for the bore that we're going to be boring this to by about 1/8 of an inch. So I got these spread so that I know that it's going to sit down in here, and then we'll move the rings in. So I got it out a little bit farther because I'm going to smoke or carbon coat the tube so that, or soot it is also a way to phrase it, and it's just putting a layer of soot on the tube so that the Babbitt will not stick to the tube. The way we do that is we just go ahead and we pretty much just put the acetylene on and just go back and forth till we put a nice good coating. And we go ahead and rotate this around. We're gonna go all the way around so we can pick the best area to slice it on down. Try not to bang it into anything, but you don't want to wipe it off. If you wipe it off, you stand a chance on your Babbitt sticking to it. Alright, nice and blackened. And now we can set this down in here. We're good. But before we set it down in there, I'm going to bring this in here just a little bit. This one in here just a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're going to smear some of this furnace cement in on our surface down in there, and then we're going to be pushing in that graphite rope up to it. So that'll be the dam to completely seal this off. This is making a good contact all the way around in the radius, but Babbitt will find the smallest opening to leak through, and we want to stop that. So we'll go ahead and set this over here. Of course, right? Okay. Back to what we were doing here. I just think if I don't put it or start it right in there, I'm not gonna get enough in that right spot there. So we'll make sure our rings will fit right inside there. We're gonna push that material, push that goo right up against that ring. As soon as I finish my tangerine. Okay. Looks good. Okay. Push that in. Push that in. Okay, I gotta get a long screwdriver. Alright, now let's take some wicking here. We're going to push that in. on this side here. Okay, I like that. And that's holding it up against there because there's actually an angle on outside so that the Babbitt's actually going to pour down almost right to this lip on the outside. It does have a little bit of a shoulder in there on the Babbitt. Okay, now we're going to put a couple C-clamps and stuff on the ends here so that we're holding that wicking end tight. And just push in and then just tighten the clamp right there. That's going to hold positive pressure on there. And it's something that we can take off, and it's really reusable thing. Okay, we're going to find something that will hold just the bottom of that in a little bit. I think that's going to be fine. This is going to get us ready to be able to do that double tier because we're going to have to hold the inner ones out as the same as the outside in. All right, minus probably 2 little parallels coming in and another little clamp right there. We're just going to put a parallel pushing against that gasket down here, holding in the bottom tight, and then we're just going to put a little reach over, lightly pinching it with pressure on it. All right, there. Now we know that that ring is secure. We're going to do the same thing over here. All right, I think we're ready for a pour. Okay, about 6:13, 6:25, and 5:30 or so on the other side. As soon as you let off a little bit, it goes from one side to the other side. All right, gloves, and let's go get the kettle. All right, let's go pour us a bearing. Here we go. Oh boy, we were just a tiny bit short. Oh boy. Well, ain't that the shits? I'm gonna try to keep that warm, and I'm gonna see if we can't pour some more on there. All right. Boy, I didn't want to melt that back out of there and go again. All right. Plenty of preheat on the casting saved it. Because if I wasn't able to melt the top side and fuse it in that way there, we would have had a lap. You don't want a lap. You can't have a lap with Babbitt because then it'll fail. After this cools down, we'll pop this out of here and then we'll be able to actually look at that surface. A couple of our rings came out okay, and the ones that were in there with the furnace cement, of course, they were cemented. Little light chisel breaks loose that furnace cement, which you don't need a whole bunch of that. Anyway, I believe we can lift this off of here now. There we go. And there's our pour. And it does show just our, man, that would have been a perfect pour too. With the exception of just not quite enough material. I might have to get the smaller torch because just a certain amount of temperature and then that's it. But this is almost like brazing with white metal here, and just trying to fill that one little area just so it's a lap. It's not a lap, I meant. Excellent. I like that. I don't care if anything's like right up at that split line right there. That looks pretty darn good right there. Okay, let's flip it over and we'll do the other side. This pour looks exceptional except for that lap, and I'm just glad that I was able to work it as fast as I did. It bonded great. And we took and we hammered it, so we know we test sounded it all the way down there. Alright, so we're going to add in the same thing right there. There we go. Before that, we're going to be telling the story, right? Okay, here we go. We'll pour this one here first. It's pouring out on the table. Shit. You do have to put the plugs in. Damn it. Okay. Fudge! Okay, 2 plugs in there. We didn't have to change our setup or anything else. We're still hot. We're going to see if we can catch up on melting the Babbitt, and then we get right back over here and pour that in. Let's see how we're setting on our feet here. Oh, this one here needs to come down a little bit. That one's okay. A little warm. Okay. Let's put the blankets around here, keep our heat in. We'll go heat up that pot. Okay, we're back up that temperature. Let's see if we can get some metal to stay in there this time. Okay. All right. Let's see if some stays in there this time. All right, I see Mel. I see it coming up. All right. You know what? That's a good feeling. All right, and all right, second one. Okay, I think we did good. Okay, that's how much left we had. We made a good guess on how much extra we needed, I guess.